All right. Welcome, everybody. This is our first Fireside chat that we're running. Today, we are joined by Michael Ionita, former founder, CEO, and CTO. Now, Michael is an educator who uses YouTube to reach millions on topics that he believes will transform the world, namely blockchain and no-code. Michael has built and sold businesses, transformed chaotic tech teams into successful ones. He's organized the biggest hackathon in the world with the European Commission and has helped businesses make millions of additional revenue in the process. Now he's advising companies on all things Web3 and no-code, tokenomics, smart contracts, to building apps and automations without coding. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So the format of this session is Q&A effectively. So I've got a series of questions, but if anyone else in the audience has questions along the way, feel free to drop them in the chat and we can raise them with Michael. So Michael, I think I first met you a few years ago at some kind of online conference in no-code. It was kind of at the point where no-code was just starting to take off on Twitter and it was still a small kind of cottage industry, a handful of people were interested in it, and now it's skyrocketing. And you've kind of been a consistent voice along the way, now with one of the main no-code YouTube channels as well. So be interested to hear a bit about your background. I know you've done a lot, but maybe just briefly cover some of the things you've worked on and what brought you to no-code.
Yeah, for sure. If you hear some weird noises, by the way, it's because they're working on the roof today, because it has to be today, right? And no, even better, right now. It has to be right now. Anyway, so they're running around on the roof and installing some solar panels. Whatever, right? So yeah, thank you very much for reminding me about that, because I think we met at this event called Second Generation or Third Generation or something like this, and then it was something. Yeah, so we were on the panel discussing the future, and so I was, and I'm still super hyped about no-code because I'm a tech person, right? So you asked me about my background, so I'm actually a developer. I run tech teams, and I'm usually responsible for the whole technical department, and so why would I care about no code, right? Because we can code it and it's fine. Well, it's not fine, okay? Because even if you know how to do it, you always want to be better, faster, smarter, be competitive, right? So if you know, even as a tech leader, if you know a trick on how to create some things faster or even better, or how to make, give departments their own power to create their own things, right? Without having to come to the tech team. Well, that's amazing, right? So obviously, I would care about that to protect my tech team even better and say, okay, here, I show you how to do your own, whatever it is, right? Your automation or your website with Webflow or your mobile app, and just come to me when you're stuck, okay? Like everything else, just, here, I teach you, right? And so it shifts from delivering software as a tech team, it shifts to educating people how to use no-code tools, right? Because they still come to us to ask about this in a company environment. That's what they're doing, right? And that's fine. So we become educators. We show you how to use Webflow to create a better website, and then at some point you take over and we don't even look at it anymore because you know how to do it, right? Cool. And we can take care more about features and the real tough things like machine learning, whatever it is, until that is automated away as well. Right? It will take a bit more time, but it will happen, right? So that's what fascinates me, right? Because it gives power to the people that have the creative idea, right? So if you have the idea, you want to be also able to implement your idea instead of having to influence or convince some developer, and the developer then has to understand you and has to get hyped the way you are, and then the developer can finally implement hopefully what you had in mind, right? So it's a long path, right? Anyway, so that's why I'm so excited about this, because it can give power to the people that have the ideas, and it's much closer to the knowledge. So for example, last story, and then I give back to you. I had an interview with a doctor on my YouTube channel, and from India, right? Super cool guy, because at some point he said he wants to do a mobile app for his patients, and they should go there before they come to him and answer some questions. And the app was very complex in Bubble, mobile web, where depending on what you picked, it would ask you other things, and then it would be storing this data and then giving you the right advice, right? You should come to him or you should not come to him, and instead do this and this, right? And he showed me the app in Bubble, and it was very complicated, right? He had a lot of logic in there that he had in his mind, and he then translated into the software, right? He clicked it together. Now imagine he had to explain all of this stuff to a developer first, which will then have to implement that into software. It would take a long time, and it would not be accurate, all right? Because the developer doesn't know, okay? He's not a doctor. So when I'm saying it gives power to the people with the knowledge, is that he's an industry expert in medicine, right? In treating humans. So if he has the power to create this app himself, well, obviously it's better, right? Because he can do exactly what he had in mind with the logic that he had in mind, right? And that is true for the finance department, for creative people as well, when it comes to designers or people that build tables or whatever it is. If they have the power to do it, they much rather get what they want. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you transition to no code? Like, coming from a software background, what was the transition? Like, was there a specific tool that you moved into?
I mean, I kind of stumbled upon, it was a bit weird because I got elected into something called Austrian Startups board membership. Okay. So anyway, so it was nice. Okay. I'm happy to be there, but every board member has kind of a specialty, right? Something that they own as a topic. And I didn't really have a topic. I know it sounds strange, yeah, but all came together. Yes. And then came COVID and came this, and I was like, I need a topic that is not, I'm the tech guy. That's not good enough. Yes. What are you fighting for? Right? What is it that you're doing with this technology? Right. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I can do this and this and this. What is my topic? And then came COVID. And then I said, I want to actually do something good for the world. And what happened then was the hackathon that you mentioned before, the biggest hackathon in the world when it comes to the submissions, above 2,100 submissions with video and high quality stuff. And that was operated by a European Commission, but I was leading it, okay, for some reason. And with that hackathon, it was impossible to use normal coding solutions because we didn't have the time. Everything was rushed and fast, and everything was huge and complicated. And so I had this thing to create an app where people can submit their projects, and also where jury members, and there were 200 something jury members, all right? They can vote on 2,000 projects, all right? Like, go and code that, right? It takes time. And there were a lot of rules that the European Commission gave to us, right? So they can vote only on projects that they have experience in, right? So let's say a jury member was a lawyer, then he can only vote on startups or on projects that were submitted that were from the legal point of view relevant, right? So otherwise it wouldn't be accurate. So I had to create this software, and the only way to do it was with Bubble. I'm not kidding. Like, I tried multiple things, but then I ended up with Bubble, and I was able to facilitate this requirement. In like one day of work, the whole thing was working, right? And that was such a fascinating moment, because I said, wait a minute, what is this Bubble thing, right? What is that? And then I learned about no code. I learned about that there are other tools and we can do way more than actually I thought. And, you know, that's how I started. And then I said, what? I have to do YouTube about this. It's amazing. I have to tell people, right? And during COVID, I had way more time on my hands, right, to do stuff. And so that's why it was possible. And so that's how I stumbled upon it, yeah, basically. And now I also have my topic, because I'm the no-code guy, right?
Yeah. So you went from starting.
I'm just closing the door, right, to eliminate some noise.
Sure. There's actually, we can't actually hear anything.
You can't hear? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, sorry, I have these people working. It's so weird that they come now. Sorry, I'm back. I'm here. All good.
Yeah, so you went from running, so you built your own company, you sold it, and then you worked on other things along the way. Now you're no-code consultant and running your YouTube channel and other things. Are there any specific tools that you recommend to clients and to people getting started with no-code?
I mean, yeah, of course, I have some tools I really like, and I think you can really create something useful with them. It's really just about creating something useful. Everything else would be just, you know, for hobby. And so what I found is, obviously, Bubble is a tool I have to recommend. I mean, it's very unique and it's great. I mean, it does have limitations as well, but it's fine. I totally recommend. And then I have, so that's for mobile, sorry, that's for web apps, you know, everything in the browser, right? And then for native mobile apps, I have actually 2 recommendations because it depends on how complicated your app should be. And one recommendation you might know from my YouTube channel is obviously adalo.com in this case, because it's simple to get into and it's fine. You can create mobile apps. I mean, come on, right? It's amazing. But it's very simple. And if you want to, you run into limitations very quickly. Huh? But okay, you know, you can have the prototype for sure. But then if you want to make the next step, I have to recommend Flutterflow. I was looking into it lately. And it's fascinating. I mean, really, really fascinating. I'm not good at it, I would say, because it's pretty big, like way bigger than Adalo from complexity point of view and what it can do. But I believe if they continue on this path, it can actually, it can basically be the go-to software for creating mobile apps, the way that Webflow is kind of the normal thing to use when you create websites, in my opinion, at least, because it can do a lot of stuff. It's also not easy, but it's actually very elegant. You can do everything. So those are the tools. And then when it comes to, so web and mobile, when it comes to automating things, if you just want to, you get data in and you want to trigger something, right? Then obviously you can go to Zapier, but I really like Integromat or Make, it's called now. I like the way that they do it visually and you see the flow of things. I really love that. So Make, I think make.com, I believe it is now.
Yeah.
And that one is really something that I like. And that's it. I mean, if you want, if you're in the audience and you're maybe a techie or something or something like that, or you're managing a tech team, you might care about a backend, right? A no-code backend, right? Where you have a full API with a proper database, obviously scalable as fuck, right? And you can then go to Xano or Backendless, and both of them are very good software. Whereas I prefer Xano a bit more because of the way they structure the UI and stuff. And those are basically also very powerful if you think that you can create like your whole business logic and your data structures and your APIs with basically just a few clicks in maybe 2 days or so. I mean, yeah, there's no reason why not to do it, especially when you run a new project or a startup, everything new, right? When you start something new, why wouldn't you use that? Because it makes you go to market faster. So those are the things that I'm looking at when I would create my own new startup business. I would use these things to create it.
And do you think there's any difference between solopreneurs starting businesses using these tools and then existing businesses? How do you see no code fitting into larger businesses?
No, it is because basically the bigger the business is, and even the longer it exists, even funny enough, the less risk it can take. You know, funny enough, that's how it is. It has something to lose, right? It has investors. They don't want you to do X, Y, Z because whatever. You have customers. You're right, so you can't change so much. So if you are a newer, fresher business, you can take a lot of risk and you can try new tools and you can try new approaches and you'll be cool. And if it crashes every day, it's fine. It's a prototype, you'll be fine. Yeah. But then, yeah. So for as a solopreneur or a startup, I don't see any reason why not to use no-code tools. Even if there are some rough edges, you're still gonna outcompete everybody basically that doesn't use it. Okay, so that's kind of a no-brainer. So you have to do it. If you're already a business and you want to employ or use no-code tools, it's a bit trickier because it depends where you're using it. So obviously I was running software teams, and if I think back, okay, where would I use no-code? In the existing product? Yeah. Well, depends, right? So I used no-code for example, we got rid of the marketing website. It was coded in PHP for some reason. And of course, the marketing team couldn't edit anything without coming to the dev team, which is pretty bad. So I said, okay, we have to destroy that and recreate the whole thing in Webflow. Okay, that's easy. Okay, we do that. It's a website. So for your marketing page, you must use no-code tools. Okay, yeah. But when it comes to your product, it's tricky because there is a lot of code already. You have 50 million rules on how to display things, and you have people pay different plans, and so they see different features. So you can't just take it away, right? But what we had there was we didn't have a mobile app, right? We didn't have any mobile app, so it was pretty easy to say, okay, it doesn't exist, so I can build it. But if it's already there, it's very hard to use no code, okay? Because it's already there, right? Why would they create something in no code now? It's too late. But if you're creating something in addition that wasn't there at all, like a mobile app, for example, then you can say, okay, we have this API, right, for our existing product, and the developers are coding on it and everything, whatever. We have the backend, you can log in, it's all great. But now let's create a Dalo app using this API and display the data, let people log in and have these features there, and they can do whatever it is. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Especially for a prototype, that's sure, but maybe even for more, just to prove your point. Let's say you're a product manager and you don't have developers that come that you can task with this mission to create a mobile app, because it's a lot of work, right? Instead, you just take your own time as a product manager, you create this mobile app, and then you prove to your business, to your CEO, right? You collect data, you say, well, look, it makes a lot of sense to have a mobile app because look, I created it with Adalo and people are using it and they say they want more features, but I cannot create more features because Adalo has this limitation. Let's create a proper mobile app. And so now you have proved it, right? And now it's totally cool to get more budget and maybe to use what I said before, Flutter Flow, right? You can then create basically anything, or you pay people, right, to create your mobile app. So that's how I see no code in existing companies. And just one sentence more, of course, no code can be employed all the time when it comes to automating processes. So when you use Make or Zapier or stuff like this, then yeah, you can use it basically any day, because there are a lot of departments in companies that are not efficient, and they can be optimized with these tools any time of the day. So yeah, that's for sure.
Interesting. So I wanted to change tack a little bit here. One of your other areas of expertise is Web3. And
yeah,
I'm really interested to see how Web3 and no code are crossing over. I've not properly invested much time into understanding Web3 myself, other than like knowing what NFTs are. So you obviously believe that Web3 is massive, going to change the world. What opportunities are there for what opportunities are there in Web3 specifically for no code? And like what kind of routes into a Web3 business are there if you're a no coder as well?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I really I got stuck between these two disciplines, right? No code and Web3, because both are changing the world, right, in their own way. And somehow I really care about this kind of feeling of being early and, you know, being disruptive, right? So that's why I kind of looked into Web3. And it's very complicated if you look at it from the first time, and so that's why a lot of people are afraid a bit of it. They want to do something, but they, you know, and so it's even more relevant to have no code in this industry, Web3, because it's so complicated, right? You need tools to make it easier. So it makes a lot of sense. So there are some no code tools where you can, for example, deploy your own smart contracts. Obviously standard versions of it. Yeah, it's not very custom, but you know, it's fine if you want to launch your coin or you want to launch your NFT or memberships. There are tools that you can use. If you want, you can contact me. I can send you links. I have a video about it also. It's called something no code blockchain or something, so you can check it out. And so that's what fascinates me, right? Because I think this industry needs that. So obviously, you still need to find the use case. So why are you doing blockchain at all, right? Why are you using NFTs? That has to make sense, right? If your business makes sense to use it. For example, today, some guy asked me if I can do their smart contracts for a restaurant, a steak restaurant, where you can only enter if you have this NFT, right? And I know it's crazy, but it's, I don't know, like they say it works. There is already something called Flyfish restaurant. They already do this in New York, and it seems to be successful, right? You still have to pay for your food, but you don't get in if you don't have the freaking NFT, right? Anyway, so that's like, you don't need code for that. I mean, very little, yes. So to create this nowadays, you can just click it together with no code tools. So, well, I think it's a great combination. But no code can be basically used in any industry, right? It's not just for, you know, this or that, or not only for, you know, apps that can be like social media, not only for Web3, not only for marketplaces or web shops. It can be anywhere, right? So that's why I think no code actually is a way bigger industry, if you think, or way bigger movement than Web3. Honestly, I think no code is massive. Like it's basically touching everybody's lives, yeah. And it's going to be everywhere, yeah. And whereas yeah, somebody says something here, but whereas Web3 is interesting, obviously, I really love it, but it's not gonna impact everybody as much. It's gonna implement, sure, you might have all money there, I get it, it's important, but if you think about all the software you're using, and that would be just clicked together by some people, right, without coding, I think that's huge. And imagine how much basically more opportunity you have there. So that's how I see it, this combination of these two things. But yeah, you had a second part of your question, right?
So my second part was, and I think Richard wants to ask a question as well. Maybe Richard, do you want to go ahead just now and ask, and then I'll.
That's actually a cool question with the login thing. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, how are you? Thank you for speaking about this huge topic. I love the Web3. I've been reading and trying to build on it for a while. It was no code. So I'm a medical doctor. I have a startup that I connect doctors with patients, but I refuse to use Stripe. Okay. And I because most of the doctors are international and Stripe is only available in 29 countries. So I really want, for example, a doctor in, let's say, in Lebanon or in Africa to be able to get payment if he wants to be able to see some patients, and Stripe does not provide this payment, you know, even the PayPal as well. So in your opinion, and based on your experience, Web3, the way I see it, yes, in the NFT world and in the community building, but I see it more as a sign-in feature. Instead of using email, you can use your wallet to sign in to this website, and this is where you get all the feature that this website is really providing. But my question is, how do you see the Lightning Network, which I'm sure you know about since you're wearing the Bitcoin hat? How do you see the Lightning that network moving with the no code? And I think this is very exciting because this is a replacement of Stripe eventually and all the other payment, because everybody charges 3% on every transaction. This is almost free. And how do you think no coder can adopt this technology so they can build really powerful tools?
No, I get it. Really great question. I can't wait to answer. Yes. So the thing is that I believe, that yes, it makes a lot of sense to use the blockchain for payments. I mean, it's kind of made for that, it's a ledger. It's perfectly, that's the use case. Yeah, that's why it's everywhere. Just wanted to make sure that that's pretty obvious use case, but I'm not sure Bitcoin is the right payment coin, or network for pay. So Bitcoin is a blockchain, right? But it's also a BTC is the currency, right? BTC is the current, like USD, is the currency running on that blockchain. Now the blockchain Bitcoin is not very fast, and it's very expensive because of its limitations. Because the first thing, I mean, we didn't make it to be fast. We made it to be there at all. So I believe that Bitcoin is not going to be the coin we pay our stuff with. In the same way, you not use gold to pay your stuff, right? You can have gold, it's fine, but it's not like you're paying your coffee with it. Yes, Bitcoin has more chances.
Just to clarify, I'm not talking about the Bitcoin. I'm talking about the Lightning Network that is built
but the Lightning Network is transacting Bitcoin. So I'm getting there. I'm just, slowly building the story. I get you, of course.
Okay.
So I believe that, there's a Lightning Network that's built on top as basically a layer 2, and then it can transact. It can transact faster, and it's basically batching transactions. So it's waiting until a few transactions are done, right, and storing this information, and then it's writing it into the Bitcoin network later to keep track of what's happening, but not every transaction, just more at the same time. So in any case, it's nice. I think it's a nice idea, right? It can work. It's just that I don't think it will work. I mean, technically it works, right? But I don't think it will be adopted as the right thing, because of psychological reasons, right? So why would I spend my Bitcoin on anything? Like it's like, even if I can, because it's fast and it doesn't cost so much money, why would I do that if I know that this thing will go to 1 million per coin? I wouldn't, like, it doesn't make sense, all right? I want to spend something that is inflationary and get rid of it. I don't want to spend something that is deflationary because it will be worth more. So keep it, right? So even if you can, I wouldn't use it, but I would pay with other coins, right? That maybe are actually made for payments from the beginning with that in mind, right? And I would pay with them because they're inflationary anyway. And I'm not planning to keep them forever, like I'm planning to, or for very long, like I'm planning to keep Bitcoin in my wallet. So it's for me, it's a psychological thing. It's my personal opinion. Okay, yes, technically you can pay with Bitcoin with Lightning, and yes, I know El Salvador is doing that. Cool, but I wouldn't do that.
But are you aware of any no-code, the solution that is providing this to, for example, startups or to other solution? Just like a payment service that is no-code that replaces like PayPal, Stripe, or wherever, or you have no idea?
Well, in order to, no, there are. I mean, there are some payments, some payment companies that are trying to replace the fiat payment rails. It's just that right now it's always a combination. So you can always choose to pay with crypto, or you choose to pay with credit card, and they convert it later and whatever, right? So because you have to, there is a transition phase, right, where you still have to support the old thing while the new thing takes over. So yes, there are some, and yeah, they exist and you can implement them. But I think what you have to implement now is something that has both, okay? Because you want to create adoption, right? So it's not like just crypto. I think that will keep the industry small. Instead, you have to always accept credit cards, basically, that in the background do the magic. So, for example, you have Venly. I don't know if that's something you know, Venly.
Yeah,
do you know?
yeah, I know. There is also the Cash App is built on the Lightning Network, so this has been very popular.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to find no-code solution. Stripe is very easy. You can just paste code, and just like have the button, and
Yeah, they have even a
just
checkout page, right, where you can. Yeah, it's the easiest thing ever. I know what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But,
no,
but
I
just
don't
building
know.
a marketplace, building a marketplace with so many wallets and having like a code that just, this is like because I'm not a coder by background. So, it's always helpful to find no code solution that provides such a service, and I have not been able to find. So I was
see
hoping
what
maybe
you mean. No, I mean, there
Yeah.
is, okay, the industry is still early, so it's not as easy as Stripe. I totally give you that. But also the cool thing is about this industry is that it's moving so fast. You see that, right? It's crazy fast. As that basically usually a month in crypto is a year in Web2, yeah, in traditional business. So they're innovating quickly. I don't know a solution that is as easy as Stripe. Again, so I agree with you. That is no code with just these payment links that you send, and you can basically just click a button and pay for that. But I'm sure it will come. And until then, I would actually keep an eye on Venly. I will keep an eye on. I forgot the name of this one thing. I have to actually look it up in my emails. I think it's called something with T or so. There's a pretty big payment solution. I always forget the name. And you have MoonPay as well, right? That you have to check as well. So there are a few that I would keep an eye on, but they're all not as easy as Stripe. But I mean, think about it. Stripe exists for about 10 years already, and we're just starting, right? So.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rashid. So following on from Rashid's question, there's a couple of ways that I see Web3 crossing over with no code. And the first way is what Rashid's saying there with logins, payments, so it's kind of slotting in and replacing existing processes in a Web3 way. But are there also opportunities to launch Web3 specific businesses? So, for example, an NFT collection, a DAO, or Are there other things in those spaces? So as a no coder, is there an opportunity to enter these spaces, and is it worth doing?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. So yes, I mean, the quick answer is yes, you can. There are tools where you can launch your DAO, your DAO, with no coding at all. For example, there is something called boardroom.io and others. And I think, let me see how to start a DAO. So I have a video here that I can share with you here in the chat. And yes, there are some no-code tools for running a DAO, and simply because a DAO is actually a pretty complicated governance structure, and you need some tools for voting and for proposals and stuff like this. And then so there are tools for that, and you can also start a DAO, deploy the whole thing with smart contracts and everything with just button clicks, for which you have to do KYC, by the way, because the industry is starting to become more mature. So yes, that's for sure. Also, you can launch your own collection as well, and I will share with you another tool here in the chat. I really like this tool here. Maybe it's not the most sexy tool, but it's actually exactly what I would program if I would program something like this. Maybe prettier. Zero code NFTs. And there you can deploy your smart contract. And then there is something called this GNFT NFT art generator, which is basically a thing that helps you to generate your, if it's like this art with the layers, with the eyes and mouth, and they randomize it. So you can do that. And I also have a video about that, which I will also link here because it explains how to use those tools. So long story short, of course, there are tools, and I'm very proud actually of the industry that they have such tools. But I have to say that it's a bit more, you have to be a bit more clear about what you want to create. Because if you want to create in the Web3 space, if you want to create something super unique, most likely you won't make it with the no-code tool, okay? Because those tools are covering specific use cases that have become standard. For example, launching a DAO is a very standard thing, right? So cool, there are tools for that. Or launching your NFT collection or your coins is a pretty standard thing. I mean, there are standards for that. So you deploy that and you'll be fine. But if you want to create something like an exchange or some crazy stuff, I don't know, whatever idea you have, yeah, it will be tricky, of course, okay? You need custom code for your smart contracts at least, and stuff like this. So, right? Whereas in the outside of the Web3 space, there are already, we spend more time in that, right? As an industry to create a lot of stuff and a lot of code, a lot of tools where we cover more cases, But like obviously, if you do something that has never been done before, no-code tool can help you, okay? Because you're missing features, right? Obviously, so that's fine. But also, I want to say that using the wallet as a login mechanism, yes, it makes sense, but it's also a bit strange because if like I'm working on projects with customers, right? And the customers ask me, and especially here, Rashid, you asked this, so you might know what I'm talking about. So the customer says, hey, we're going to deploy the smart I'm going to deploy the smart contract, but which wallet will deploy it and who is the owner of that contract? And here's what I say. Hey, we can use your wallet. You put cash on it. You could put Ethereum on it. And you give me the private key, not the 12 words or 20, just the private key, and I deploy it. And it's your wallet, right? You're the owner. But now the problem is that I have the private key. I cannot, they cannot change the password to the wallet. Once they've given me the key, that's it. It's over, right? So, or the other solution is I use my wallet and I deploy it, but then I'm the owner and I have to hand over ownership to them. What if I don't do that, right? So we still have some issues to solve, okay, when it comes to this. And so once you give access to a wallet to some other guy that you work with, you're screwed, okay? That's it. Can't change the password or something. There is no password, all right? So anyway, it's very rudimentary. It's a great technology, and I think we should use it as our identity. But let's just say we still have some time, some way to go.
So the issue there is kind of in the agency consultant realm. If someone else is building something for you, that's where the problems come in.
Yeah, I mean, there are some solutions for that, but it's, okay. But there are again, very complicated. Yeah.
Okay. What about in terms of the market opportunity? So it seems when NFTs kind of got really hot last year, whenever it was, everyone rushed into it. Same with DAOs and Web3 in general. And to me, like looking at NFTs, I think it would be so difficult to make yourself stand out in that marketplace. And a lot of the collections that I followed, they've just like got initial buzz and then it just died. Do you think there's market opportunities to launch Web3 businesses?
I think there are, but not so many as we believe right now. So basically the industry is searching for the killer app. That's what they call it. So for example, for Web2, the killer app was, well, multiple things, but the first thing that was super obvious was social media, right? Like it was very early on. There were like the shitty social networks at the very, very, very beginning of everything, where you had just a nickname. You didn't have to put your real name. So it went, obviously it went out of control, yeah. And so that was the first thing, but it was kind of obvious that the same thing as NFTs went out of control, yeah, the same. And then it got regulated. And for example, many states said you must have a full name policy. So now that's why on all the social networks, you have to put your freaking name. I'm not sure about Twitter. I think you have to anyway. So because otherwise you can just be an ass, right? Because there is no identity behind it, no? So it's a bit weird. So that's exactly the same with NFTs. Yes, people got nuts, they did crazy stuff, and they were able to make a little bit of money there, well, maybe more, a lot of money there. But it quickly, and not quickly, when I'm saying quickly, I mean, like I said before, the industry is moving so quickly that you had just 1 year or so actually to take advantage of this, and or not even that, and that's it. It's over now, right? So the whole thing is started and died in 1 year, let's say. Whereas in the normal industry, that would have taken way longer, right, to balance itself out. So I think it's over to create this standard NFT, pictures thing, profile pictures, PFPs, it's called. And so now you have to stand out. Now the question is, how do you stand out? Okay, I told you before this idea with the steak restaurant where you can only get in when you have this NFT. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a crazy idea. It's a very, again, like a elite kind of idea. I don't think it's going to help humanity to feel better about itself. It's just going to help some elite people who have the money to buy this thing to feel better. Okay, great. So the question is here, how does it help the masses, right? Like social media helps a lot of people, right? Because they can connect with their friends and they can find jobs, and it's great. So we're still searching for this killer app, and maybe the killer app is that it's the new monetary backbone, and it's basically the infrastructure for transactions for money, right? Maybe and that's fine. It's great. It's going to touch everybody's life. Cool, right? At some point. But I think the industry expects more, because you have to understand that the coin and the NFT are fundamentally different things, right? It's like comparing a €1 or $1 with a painting. They are fundamentally different things, and the blockchain supports both. So the killer app for the coin is obviously the financial use cases, no? But the killer app for the art, for the unique object, the NFT, is not quite clear yet. Okay, sure, you can have memberships and stuff, but is it really so important to have? I believe that the killer app that will touch everybody's life will be, well, two things that I predict coming, but brace yourself. Give it 5 years or something like this, right? So the first thing is digital identity, so that the state officially, right, puts your ID on the blockchain. Maybe it's their own blockchain that they are running, or maybe the European Union has its own. By the way, they are working on this shit. European Union own blockchain. Anyway, maybe US has their own, but you have your ID in a standardized way stored there, and you can prove that it's you by having all this wallet stuff, and maybe you have a wallet from the European Commission or from the government from the USA, and they give you their wallet. You have to use that shit. But anyway, and then you can have your diploma there, your birth certificate there, your marriage certificate, whatever certificate, your driver's license, all this crazy shit will be there, right? Because it's your digital identity, and it's stored on the blockchain, secured, and it's encrypted and all. But now the cool thing is that because it's digitalized, and we're digitalizing basically all our lives, the more time passes, the more we digitalize our lives. You can digitalize stuff that was never digital in the first place. For example, let's say you do sports, and you digitalize, you store into your wallet because you're using an app, and that app, you log in into that app with your wallet. So the app can store into your wallet, because it's your data, your wallet can store how much sport you are doing. Your car, you log into your car with your wallet, your car stores into your wallet how much you drive, yeah, okay? Now you're going to an insurance website and you want to buy insurance, okay, for life insurance, all right? You log in with your freaking wallet and you know what's next, right? They will ask you, hey, I see that you have data from your physical activity and I see that you have data from your car driving activity. Do you want to share it with us? Because if you do, you might save yourself 10 or 20% on your insurance. All right. Now, it's good or bad. Okay, you decide if it's good or bad. We're digitalizing all of our life. We're giving the data a place, which is in our wallet. But now, because it's available to us, we can share it, and we will share it, right? Because most people need money, right? So they will want to share it to get a benefit here, a benefit there, right? Whereas today we don't share this stuff. Okay, it's private. Okay, so just saying it has good or bad things. But that would be killer app, right? It's not, I'm not saying it's the best, but it's a use case that will happen, all right? So, but that has to be supported by the state. If it's not official, that's not your ID. Nobody cares, right? Okay, and the second thing is that you're basically gonna have all of your memberships, all of your money on it, right? That's clear. And you're gonna have also, when you create a business, right? You create a startup. The contract and the I don't know how, the shareholder agreement, right? That's, I think, the name of it. The shareholder agreement will be a smart contract, right? So you create a business by clicking it together, and it will create a smart contract, and that will be stored on the blockchain, and that decides who has how many shares in your business and who can vote how much and right? And so the smart contract will be your business. That's your official description of how your business is structured, right? Not with how you sell your product, but how you between people, right? So then you will have one wallet is from me, one is from Josh, and we have 50-50. And whenever the smart contract makes money, it can split the money and give us the profits, right? Completely automated and stuff. And so that again has to be approved by some authority to say that, yeah, we acknowledge that this is a business, and yes, it is stored on the blockchain and it's automated, but we acknowledge, right? And maybe that will bring something that I really hope it will happen, which is something called a digital business that doesn't have a country where it belongs. Instead, the internet is his home, right? There is no borders, right? I've been talking about this a lot in the last conferences with people, where you create a business and it's not in US, it's not in UK, it's not in Europe or whatever, but it's in the internet, all right? It's there. But now, how do the states get their money? Well, simple. You can just have the smart contract actually remember from which country the users have interacted with it, okay? And then distribute the VAT, because states care about VAT as fuck, right? If you don't pay their VAT, you go to jail. So the smart contract can distribute VAT percentage-wise, depending on how many users from Austria, Germany, UK have interacted with the contract. So, right, so from that, you can distribute the VAT to the states. States are happy, they get their money, so you have basically your personal life, your ID, and your business represented as in the blockchain with blockchain technology. And that is, I think, those are the two killer applications.
That is extremely interesting. So how far away do you think that is?
I think it's you could do that quickly. Technically, it's very easy to do. Honestly, it's just that the state doesn't approve, right? They're not there yet. Because if it's not approved by the state, it's not going to fly, because they will kill it immediately. They will be just against the whole idea if it's not their idea. So I think in some states, like in UAE and Dubai, I think we're just a few years away, really, because they already want to be the hub, right, the center. Yeah. But in other states, like in Austria, where I'm from, and it's traditionally very slow moving, I think it's going to take 10 years at least. Yeah.
Really? Okay. So you're saying that Web3 is moving incredibly quickly. How do you see no code moving? Say in 5 years' time, where will we be at?
I think, yeah, funny. That's actually a funny question, because like spontaneously, I would say no code is a bit slower moving than Web3. But maybe that's because Web3 still is very early and you can still create a lot of stuff that's pretty obvious, right? So if you're already very deep into the industry, there is not much more you can do, or it's very hard, right? So I think that's where no code is, because no code exists, if you're honest, since Excel, Microsoft Excel exists, okay, because you could automate stuff, right? And you can write macros and God knows what. So it's very old, okay? And so and also we expect a lot from these no-code tools because we are used to mobile apps and websites to be very good and high quality and whatever. But in Web3, we're used to shitty quality because we don't care, right? It's all about the coins and it's fine. So the websites are ugly as fuck. The art is not cool. We're fine, right? You know what I mean? So the bar is low, yeah. But I think Web3 is moving quicker because of the inherent architecture. So the code that you're using as for your smart contracts is public most of the time. So you can just go and copy the code of your competitor, and you can launch exactly the same smart contract in 1 hour, and boom, you have competition. You have created competition. Yes, the only thing you have to code yourself is maybe the front end, the website or whatever. And so you can create competition quickly. Whereas in Web 2, in the traditional business, you can't see the code of the competitor. It's somewhere hidden in some server. You have no idea. You can't just copy that, right? So I think that's a catalyst for Web3 copying each other. You can see that for Uniswap started, and then it was copied very quickly by hundreds of people, and to have their own so-called automatic market makers. And yeah, they look the same, just with different colors. So it's a benefit, I would say, because if you don't do something that is really cool, then nobody cares. In the no-code space, I think sometimes I'm like, why doesn't Adalo move faster? Okay, really, I wake up and I'm asking myself, okay, why is I'm still waiting for this tiny thing that is super important, and for that, what's happening? So I think we should step up a bit in no code, because it's a huge industry and it helps a lot of people, and really create better tools. Okay, honestly. And what I see also in the no-code space is that a lot of companies have understood that if they do tools for businesses, they make more money than if they do tools for, well, businesses, for existing businesses. So let me give you an example. I had an interview with the CEO of Glide. Okay, Glide apps, cool stuff. We love it. Okay, and the guy, you can check it out on my channel, right? And the guy told me, David, I think his name is something. And so he said, hey, we decided to do mobile web. So he explained it to me like this, like kind of around the corner, because he does mobile web apps. And I asked him, hey, why don't you create native apps? Because it's easy. No, I mean easy. You could easily also offer a native app that I can install from the App Store. And then he said, yes, but think about who would put their app in the App Store, right? Who would do that? Would it be a massive company that creates an app for internal use for 1,000 people? No, because they don't need to put it in the App Store. They just distribute it over email, or they send it to all of their employees with one click, and they go to the URL, they log in, and that's it. No, they don't need an App Store. But if you're a startup or a B2C company that is trying to reach the consumers, then you would want to put it on the freaking App Store, because that's the easiest way for your consumers to find it. But here's the thing, startups go broke 90% of the time, and they don't have money, right? And also, when you put it in the App Store, the bar is very high, right? It's very competitive, right? You need to have a nice looking app, it has to be fast, it has to be sexy, whatever it is. So it's funny, right? So more no-code tools move into the direction of helping you automate and improve your internal processes of your existing company, and less people are moving into creating consumer apps, because it's harder and you make less money, right? So you can see all this stuff happening also with this new tool called, what is that, UI Flow, which is pivoted completely to B2B only, or maybe they wanted it anyway, but it's super clear. And even DraftBit, which is a tool that was free and you could use it now, you have to be a business, you have to apply to get access, and it's B2B only, and it's crazy. So the industry is kind of moving where the money is, right? And the money is in internal business optimization, right? Instead of mobile apps and stuff like this, which is a bit pity, because that's why you don't have Bubble saying, yeah, sure, let's do mobile native stuff. I mean, they don't care, right? Because they make more money like this, and it's a bit sad.
Yeah, totally agree. So we've got a few minutes left. Let me just think. What if you were starting a business today then, in the climate that we're in, and with the options that you have on the table with no-code tools, what route would you take? Or what would you start?
What was the first sentence? If I start a business?
Yeah, if you were starting a business today in the world that we're in now, what would you go for, and what tools would you use?
I mean, in my situation, I would actually start an educational business where, honestly, I would sell my knowledge somehow in video courses or something. I know it's maybe cliche or so. It's not so easy to do as you believe, okay, honestly. But that scale is great, you know, like there are a lot of tools you can use, easy, just have to create the content, okay? So that would be the first thing that comes to my mind, because I was researching this a lot and it's a great business to do. But I think you were looking for something else, right?
No, not specifically. I think we see a lot of in the no-code space. We see a lot of education type businesses, content businesses, communities.
Yeah.
We don't see that many SaaS products or like people actually building tech products so much.
I mean, they could do it, right? They could create SaaS. There are features for that, just they don't do it. Yeah.
So just interesting to hear your perspective. So yeah, we're almost at time, but if there are any more questions in the audience, then feel free to ask them just now. But in the meantime, Michael, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Where can people find out more about you?
Thank you as well for having me. Sorry for the disruptions at the beginning. It seemed to have settled down. It's all good now. So here's my website in the chat. I put it to everybody. It's just the easiest way to find all the information there. You can click on the YouTube logo, and then you on the page on my website, then you arrive on my YouTube channel. Also the easiest way, I believe, to do that. And you can see all the stuff I'm doing there. And what most people are doing when they come there is that they get in touch and they have some question about how can I build this? How can I build that? Can you help me with what there, right? So you can, feel free to do it. I promise I will answer. And so, that's that. And
by the way, Michael, just to say something, if you know someone who can help me implement a Lightning Network-based system, please refer them to me. Happy.
I know, I know somebody. I met him today. There was this event I kind of mentioned before. There was a crypto event today. The whole industry came together. Nice. I know a guy. Okay, he has a team. He can do it.
I'm gonna add you on LinkedIn. If you can connect me, man, that would be great, because I've been struggling just to find the right talent. I have no coding background, so I build things on no code, on Airtable, and on the software. I've been doing this for a while, helping other companies. As you said, internal processes are my biggest clients, and it's been nice. But I need someone more technical, especially in the crypto world. Yeah.
I mean, he would, I will connect you. You can make a deal with him, but he does this for a profit, so he will cost some money. Okay, I mean, but
obviously,
maybe that's expected. Yeah.
Cool. It's just that I have the solution. I just need this feature to be implemented somehow, and right. I don't know how.
But that's cool. Actually, I think that's exactly why you would combine no code with code. So let me explain. So no code is like Lego. Yeah, you have the blocks, but then sometimes a block is missing. Yeah, you don't have the right block. Okay, so now Rashid is saying, hey, can somebody code me this block? Put it in the tool I'm already using. Let's say you're using Bubble, and then I can drag and drop it in and use it, right? And from there, you can be free again and do your stuff. And I think that's how it should be. And if you work with a developer like this, I would say that he should create a module or a plugin, whatever the no-code tool is calling it, and put it in there so that you are free again to continue building your app without having to go to the developer every time, right? You want to avoid that, right? You want to be free of the developer. Just once in a while, you need the guy or the girl to create something for you. So keep that in mind, okay? Build Lego blocks.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you. Thanks, Michael, for joining us. Thanks, everyone, for coming. This has been recorded and we'll be sharing it next week with the whole community. So check it out there as well. But thank you, everyone. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. We're doing a rapid fire intro session on Thursday. So if you're around, hop in for that. And that's it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
sure.
everyone.
I'm checking Rashid's website here. Yeah, everybody go there. Books.com. I don't know why I'm advertising it, but here you go.
Yeah, let's try it.
Thank you.
Is it built with a no-code tool that we know, or which one? What is it?
Yeah, it's Airtable and Softer.io. If you guys, I can send you my the affiliate link.
Make some money.
Let me see where it is. Somewhere, like I have buried it somewhere, but it's there. But I strongly
I have a question
encourage you.
about Software, because I made a video about them, but it's some time ago. Did they improve a lot lately, or what happened there?
Oh, they are improving so fast. I highly recommend them, not because I'm using them, but because it's really like I had more than 80 clients so far. I've built processes for them on Software and on Airtable. It's huge. So guys, you can support me and click on this link and go.
Yeah, I'll click on the link.
But yeah, definitely. If you need I think what I provide is not the coding, but more of the strategy and the structure and the automation, and just I help so many people save so many hours in their processes.
Yeah,
so
that's the point. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Okay, so enough advertising. Just wanted to know about Software because I didn't use them for a while, and they seem to make some buzz. I see some Twitter happening. People are happy, and I'm like, okay, I have to maybe look at it again. Yeah. Okay.
They're really good, and they're growing very, very, very fast, very fast.
Nice. Thanks for the news.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Sorry, Josh. I just, I just had
Perfect.
to.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Have a good one.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah.